Welcome back to the Slasher Siblings podcast. I'm your co-host Cicely.
I'm your host Hayden.
Today we're talking about The Cabin in the Woods. Came out in 2011, rated R. It's an hour and 35 minutes. And it got a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. 5 college friends head out to a remote cabin for a getaway, but things don't go as planned when they start getting killed. They soon discover that there is more to the cabin than it seems.
Go ahead and read the question.
What movie contains a scene in which a father chases his son around a hedge maze with an axe? Answer: The Shining.
That one should have been an easy one.
Easy peas.
It is a favorite of Cicely's, and we've done it on the podcast, so it should be
It's our first episode.
right. So good job to whoever got it. That was an easy one, so
Yep.
I would hope you get it. And if you didn't, better luck next time. But I don't know anybody that
Easy
wouldn't have got
peas,
it.
yeah.
Yep.
That's like a classic.
Right. So we missed the week. Our bad.
Our bad.
We had a little something come up.
Got busy.
Unexpectedly, my child came. For all the people that are listening that didn't know, my child is here and on the earth.
Yeah, he's
And
upstairs.
Now we have our newest little Slasher Siblings podcast mascot.
Our slasher baby.
Slasher baby. See?
Slasher baby.
So we had to miss a week since, we're having the baby. And I guess we could have made it, but it would have just been...
It was just too much. There's so much
a
going
lot
on.
happening all at once. So yeah, now that my kid's born and we're back and have our new mascot, we are ready to rock and roll from here.
Yeah.
At least gives Cicely an excuse to come here still.
I come every day.
Yes. So let's get into the movie here. So I actually liked it.
Did you?
Yeah.
It was definitely not what I expected.
No,
Like,
not at all.
I think I saw another movie about a cabin in the woods. It was not this.
No, but I actually liked it. I thought it was actually...
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was really interesting.
Yeah. So there was the so yeah, like you go into it thinking a lot different, and then the opening is on complaining about the child proofing,
Yeah.
which I thought was actually like hilarious.
Yeah.
Like he was like, yeah, she baby proofed all the cabinets. We don't even know if we can have a kid yet.
It's so funny.
And it's like, I get like 2 inches to get into the drawer and try to fidget with it to get in there or whatever. And it was just like, that's so funny. It's just like, we don't even know if we're able to have a kid yet. And she's already baby proofing.
She's baby proofing.
I thought that was really funny, the way that, they were obviously friends or whatever and talked about this before. I just thought it was hilarious the way that they were acting. But there's also a good it shows right in the beginning a good relationship between the group. They're all friends, and it made it like abundantly clear that they're all friends. It's not like they're just 5 strangers that showed up at a cabin in the woods or something. And I really liked that they had a good relationship, because it kind of makes the movie easier to watch when the people aren't like always fighting with each other. It just kind of gets annoying after a while. And it's just like, good, they're friends.
They're friends.
Yes. But that guy, Marty, wasn't it Marty?
Was it Marty? I wasn't good at remembering the names.
Mordecai.
Mordecai.
Right?
Was that
Morty.
it? Because I remember hearing it, and I thought of Mordecai and Rigby.
Yeah,
Have you seen the regular show?
I've seen it before. Yeah.
So funny.
But he pulled up, smoking a bong, which there's always going to be that one friend that's smoking in the group.
Yep.
And
Always that one.
I thought it was really funny that he got out of his car and he locked it, but he left the window open.
Yeah.
That kind of defeats the purpose of locking the car door.
I did that
doesn't it?
last week.
He locked the car but left the window
Yeah, I
open.
came back out to it and I was like, fuck.
Well, people
was
can
really
get in
nice
there
out.
still.
It's really nice out.
I just thought it was funny. Like he turned around and he smacked the door, so he knew that it was open, but he still locked it anyway. Like, just leave it unlocked at that point because they can just
Yeah.
open it, and especially the one with the where it was
Yeah.
that he could just smack on the top of it and it locked. Anyway,
So
that has nothing to do with the movie. But I thought the collapsible bong was absolutely hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, who would want to take a big bong in your dad's RV? And he just like collapses into a coffee mug. That was so funny. But then they leave, right? And we get the creepy asshole gas guy.
Yeah.
He was weird.
Yeah.
It
Didn't like
obviously became, an important part of the movie later.
that. Uh-huh.
Like who he was. But it was just like, he was just acting like really creepy for some reason. And, they showed up and he was like, were you invited here? Or like, I was like, it's a gas station.
It's public.
I don't think that they would need
Yeah.
a invitation to get your gas, but whatever. And,
Imagine that happening to you in real life.
I've been like, dude, what the
Dude.
fuck's your problem, man?
Dude.
Or when he was talking about Chris Hemsworth character's girlfriend, he goes, yeah, the whore. He's like, what did you just say? I was like, oh god.
The whore.
The whore. I was like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. But moving on, the driving through the tunnel was really interesting. I don't think I've personally ever seen a tunnel that bends that sharp. You know what I mean? Have you seen a tunnel that does like a
No.
full U-turn almost?
No.
That's kind of odd.
Not in real life.
Yeah, not in real life. I'm sure there might be one somewhere, but like that's
Somewhere
just
in
so
the world.
weird. Because I know tunnels do, curve and stuff, but I've never seen one that does a full U-turn like that before.
Uh-uh.
But then the bird hit something. The bird that was flying around that tunnel smacked into something, and at this point we don't know what that is in the movie, but I just thought that was a very weird foreshadow. It was like, oh, there's something weird going on that we don't know about just yet. That's obviously going to come up later in the movie,
Yeah.
but like, it's like, what the hell this is
What's
so weird.
that?
What was that?
Yeah.
Then I noticed that the cabin, when they drive up to it, it looks almost identical to the cabin in the Evil Dead movie. It not almost identical. It looks extremely similar.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like
I
as
didn't
soon as
even
I
put
looked
that
at
together.
it, I was like, that looks like
That
the
looks
Evil Dead
familiar.
cabin. And then they did like an actual like frame on the cabin. I was like,
Maybe it's the same one.
maybe it is, because that looks
Yeah.
really, really similar to it. I should look it up and see if it was like the inspiration or
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And then they go inside and they start, picking out rooms and unpacking and everything. Then there's a one-way mirror,
Yeah.
which I thought was creepy.
Oh, those are so creepy. Especially if you're staying somewhere.
If you're staying somewhere that is owned by somebody else.
Yes. Because you don't know what's back there.
No. And I mean, I guess he did by, looking through and seeing that it was the other room. But like,
Why would you need
is that in
that?
your house?
Yeah. That's.
I
I,
don't-
think one-way mirrors are strictly for like being creepy
Oh, for sure.
and police.
And police, yeah.
That's it.
But like, Why is that in your house?
Yeah.
And why is it being covered by the weirdest, creepiest painting ever?
Yeah, I was like, okay.
This is super weird.
Don't like that.
No. But whatever, it's
To each their own, I
to each
suppose.
their own. It's your house. And then it showed a shot of the cameras that were watching them, which was just as creepy, I think. The fact that there were people sitting around,
Watching.
watching. Yeah.
Like, what are you guys doing? That was so weird.
It's so weird.
Did you notice the one guy was the dad from Step Brothers?
Of course, I love that
Obviously,
movie.
that's like what I know him from.
Yeah, that's like...
Step Brothers is my top 3. It's probably, it's top 3 of my favorite movies.
It was funny because he is known for that movie, obviously. But it also... Like, you go back and watch other movies, and he's in them,
And you're
like,
oh,
I had no idea.
it's the dad from Step Brothers.
Yeah. It's like,
Like,
these
that's who
movies
he
came out
is.
way before, and I've seen them
Yeah.
before. But it's like, I didn't know he was from this. I knew he was from Step Brothers.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, the cameras were incredibly weird. And I thought when they were messing with Mordecai was really funny.
Yeah.
They were they went swimming and everything, but they came back up and he was what the hell was he even talking about?
I don't know.
He was so high, and he's like, I can't even remember because his his discussion was just like so off the wall that I have no idea what he was like getting at. He was talking about an animal, but he called it the wrong name. the moose or something.
Yeah.
He was like, go and make out with that moose, and then they were like messing
It's
with him.
like a wolf or something.
Yeah, it was a wolf, and it was just it was really funny how they were messing with him, and it kind of cements that like fun having group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was still just so funny. He's like, go make out with that moose. And they're like, have you seen a moose?
Have you seen a moose?
And he's like, oh, I'm just riddled with weed right now. Or I'm riddled with reefer right now.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. I just thought that was really, really funny. A good comedic
Relief,
yeah.
Are we going to talk about the wolf makeout scene?
Yes, it's coming up.
Okay.
Or was it? No, they were messing with Mordecai before that. I don't even remember, but that part was funny. And then they're all betting on the kids' outcomes.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of like a dick move on their end, but it was also like, I guess I kind of get it.
Yeah.
Like they do this all the time. This is like a regular occurrence, so you gotta eventually start.
Just like making light of it.
Yeah, pretty much. I did think it was a dick move though to be betting on some kids' deaths.
It's weird.
But I guess it is all like up to chance, like, oh, they could get any of these, different types of deaths or whatever. And it's like, oh, well, I'll bet you $50 they get, the unicorn.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I'll bet you.
Eaten by a
All right, I'll
bear.
bet you $50 that they're actually getting the merman or whatever.
Yeah.
So it just probably went all downhill from there, pretty much. But now is the truth or dare, where he said about the moose and the wolf, but they dared Jules to go and make out with a stuffed wolf head hanging on the wall. She was like, oh, easy. Like,
okay, I'm gonna be honest. I was gagging during that scene.
really?
I don't fuck with the dead animal heads on people. You know what I mean?
Taxidermy.
Yes, I don't fuck with taxidermy. Like, I have a few houses I dog sit for, and they have like deer heads on the wall, and I'm like,
So you wouldn't
I'm always afraid they're gonna snap their head and look at me.
like Evil Dead?
I wouldn't even touch one, let alone make out with.
So
Like, that makes me physically like sick.
so 80 years from now, when your dog's pass away, you're not gonna
Shut
get him
up.
stuffed.
I'm not stuffing Beckos. I'm not stuffing my boy.
Imagine if he came back to
Oh, my baby.
life, Evil Dead style.
I'd be like, hey, buddy. No, I don't. I told Jesse, I said, well, he doesn't hunt, so it's never a problem, but I'm like, you're never gonna,
Do the bring
this
a
is
stuffed
never
deer.
gonna be accepted in my house.
Um,
Absolutely not.
well, the fact that she was just like, so, oh, it's fine, like, this is easy kind of thing, and then she walks up and starts like talking to it.
She's like actually licking it with her
well,
tongue.
yeah, she had to make out with it, but it's still like the fact that like she walks up to it and starts making it into like a show. She's like, oh yeah, I am new here, and all this weird stuff.
I am new here.
It's just like so weird, and then she starts making out with it and like playing with its tongue and licks the roof of its mouth and everything. Like that was one of the more disgusting. I was like, all right.
I said, girl, I can't do this. I can't fucking do this.
I was sitting there. I was like, is this like
It's like,
necessary?
turn it off!
Is this necessary?
Turn it off!
Please stop. But
Yeah, that was really gross.
it was shortly after that the cellar door blew open, and they went down into the cellar, and there's a bunch of creepy stuff down there, and it was just like, we find out later it was just a rifle through and take a pic, but like there was also a foreshadow where he put the conch shell up to his mouth and was about to blow into it, but someone caught his attention and he stopped. But
Why would you do that?
I don't know. But it was still the fact that like it was like all this weird, creepy, old crap that like all had sinister vibes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like definitely not something that you should be messing around with, for sure.
Yeah, and like, if you go to a cabin in the woods, are you going in the basement? 'Cause I'm not.
Not if I don't have to.
I'm not fucking going down there.
I don't even like. I
I
don't
don't
even
even
want
want to go to the cabin in the woods.
I mean, I would go to a cabin in the
Yeah.
woods. I just mean like I don't even want to like go outside the cabin. I just want to stay
like at
in
night. Yeah.
Well, no, just anytime. I just want to
Just,
be a hermit in a cabin.
I would just watch movies all day.
Yeah.
Not scary ones either.
Like just go get away, sit in a
Yep.
cabin in the woods, and
Yep.
just sit
Chill.
there and chill. But yeah, they were all messing with the creepy stuff and ended up calling some zombie guys with the Latin journal thing, which also kind of seemed like a little call to Evil Dead as well, because they go down in the basement, they read some Latin, and ends up coming these deadites, which are demons, but they're like zombies or
Yeah.
whatever. Then the people come out of the ground. Listen, Mordecai the whole time was saying like, don't do that, don't do this, don't read the Latin. Eventually, you gotta listen to the dude.
You gotta listen to the stoners.
He knew the whole time.
You gotta listen to the weed eaters.
Yeah, but like the whole time he was like, don't do that. That's like there's nothing good gonna come out of. And guess what?
Listen
Nothing good came out of it.
to the stony balonies.
Stony balonies. I like that. Oh man, they just wouldn't listen to him, and here comes some people out of the ground. It's your fault now. But there was a cool shot that you got to see the bet board. I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And it had like all kinds of different monsters and stuff on it. And like there was one for the unicorn and zombies, and then zombie redneck family, blah blah blah, and like I don't remember what else is on there, but it's just cool like to see, because some of those are like actual like monsters that people believed were like real, like skinwalkers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there was like actual real monsters on there.
Do you believe in skinwalkers?
Yeah, probably. I believe in
Interesting.
Bigfoot, so
You believe in Bigfoot?
he's out there
I
somewhere.
don't doubt anything because the world is so big
There could be
there could be
things-
anything. I don't even want to know
There's
what's in
probably
the ocean.
things we have that no human,
knows about.
no
right?
creature had ever laid an eye on down in the deep sea.
Oh, can you imagine what the fuck is down there?
I don't want to.
I don't want to know.
Because if we imagine if we wake that thing
No.
up and it just
No,
eats
just-
the earth.
just
or
kill me.
something.
I don't fuck with sea monsters. That's one thing about me. I don't fuck with
End
that.
up waking up Cthulhu or something.
I don't fuck with sharks either.
But
I was watching a video
no, I
on-
like sharks, but
on how to defend myself if I'm ever in the situation.
with a shark,
Yeah.
you don't even go in the ocean anymore.
I don't even go in the ocean.
So what does it
scared.
matter?
I'm like, okay, if somebody drugs me and puts me on a canoe in the middle of the ocean and then flips me off of the canoe, I gotta know what to do.
Okay, some extreme.
Punch it
Do
right in the
you
nose.
know they have to knock you out here and then drive for many, 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 many hours to get you to an ocean,
Hopefully
and then take even longer to get you and
On
the
a
canoe
boat.
on a boat out far enough.
out to sea. If I woke, my worst nightmare is literally waking up in the middle of the ocean. No, I'm not kidding. If I woke up in the middle of the ocean by myself, I would hold my breath until I die. I would drown myself. I would lay there and just drown.
Become food.
There's
for the
no way I'm
sharks.
making it out. I mean, or I'll have a heart attack. I'm so scared of the ocean.
So
Anyway,
this is when the attacks start, right? And what's his name? Chris Hemsworth character and Jules. Kurt?
Oh.
Was it Kurt?
I don't remember.
But they were out.
Varsity Jacket.
Yeah, they were out in the wilderness doing the wilderness things,
Yeah.
and big Cletus comes out of the woods and kills Jules. And it was kind of crazy how, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it's just crazy how creepy it was, because you like didn't see his face really. You didn't really see any of their faces. The zombies. I don't
Oh,
remember
yeah.
really seeing their
Uh-uh.
faces in the movie, which makes it kind of creepier. Kind of like a Michael Myers type deal, where you don't see his face. But yeah, the attacks start. You know, they're trying to hide in the cabin and everything. And Morty ran into his room, and they all got locked in their rooms and everything. Well, he found a camera, which isn't good.
Yeah. Could you
Well,
imagine? For them.
for them, not for the. It's just not good for anybody. But yeah, he found a camera and the wire, which is pretty bad for your reality TV show. And I like how Morty was just like, I'm on reality TV. My parents are gonna see how much of a burnout I am. I thought that was funny. But yeah, it was pretty crazy that the person that it's kind of like the Truman Show in a way.
Oh my god,
When he
I
finds
tried
out-
watching it. I fell asleep.
What?
Truman Show. I've never seen it.
Really? It's so
Fell
good.
asleep. I've heard it's really good.
It is. But yeah, he finds out he's on TV, and guess what? He escapes too, and it's kind of like the same thing in a way.
I feel like if I watch the Truman Show, it's gonna send me into like an identity crisis. So I'm kind of glad I fell asleep.
Then she killed a zombie? Question mark. The question that I have is, was it really actually dead? You know, we have no idea technically, because it could have come back for all we know. But then the spirits are getting stopped everywhere, like all the different, you know, scenarios that are happening are getting stopped all over the place. So they're failing left and right. This is not a good sign for, you know, like the background plot.
Yeah.
But then Chris Hemsworth character, as they were trying to escape and the tunnel caved in, he jumped on his dirt bike and he was going to jump the gorge to get to the other side and get help. And the way he splats into the force field killed me.
Oh yeah.
It's it was so funny and so terrible at the same time. It was just like, it was funny how he just smacks into it. It just like rolls down it, kind of. That was terrible, but it was actually kind of funny. But then they knocked the RV off the cliff. The guy got the like sickle thing through his throat and it got knocked off. And that was pretty that was a moment you were thinking of like, oh, they finally got away. Well, I guess not. There was a foreshadow. There was a handprint, a bloody handprint on the door of the RV or whatever. But then they started celebrating the win. Don't celebrate too early.
That's how you jinx it.
Yeah, they started celebrating as if they won, but they, you know, didn't. Because Morty was still alive. And he's still alive. That was my next thing. I kind of went into it. But
yeah,
they find out that he's actually still alive, and that's why the ritual didn't work, because they never killed Morty. He got away. Which we find out a little bit later that the weed he was smoking actually made him immune to all the stuff that they were doing, like all the different chemicals that they were putting into the air and stuff. But Morty found a little bunker and elevator area, which ended up turning into a monster museum, which was weird. Could you imagine jumping into an elevator, running for your life, and then just be like in this museum of different creatures?
I'd shit my pants.
Seriously. But they eventually get out, and they start the system purge, which I thought was actually really cool. Where all those soldiers were in the elevator lobby, and you hear the ding of the elevator, and all the doors open, and all the monsters just come out ripping people apart.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Really intense.
It was very intense, but it was just so cool to see all those monsters just ripping people apart. I thought that was awesome. But the director guy, whoever he was, the stepbrother guy, he was killed by accident, of course, because you can't kill a guy like that on purpose, apparently. But yeah, he was killed by accident. The main girl, I forgot her name.
I know none of their names.
The main girl accidentally stabbed him in the stomach with the trowel that Morty dismembered the zombie with, which I thought was funny. But the ritual site was pretty interesting. Like, the whole movie, they were pulling those levers and the blood was raining down on them or whatever. But it was really cool to see that ritual site. Like, the big stone tablets and everything. But then Sigourney Weaver shows up in the last, 5 minutes of the movie. Which I thought was really funny. It was just, randomly, a A-list actor.
Yeah.
And, she ends up trying to stop them because Morty has to die before, quote-unquote, the Virgin dies. And
for everything to go according to plan.
For the ritual to work.
Yeah.
And then it didn't. And the ancient ones end up getting released. Which is not good for Earth. Which was actually cool to see that arm just come out of the ground like that. Slam down and the movie was over. Because, I mean, you know what happened then. They just blew apart the Earth. But, it was just cool to see that arm come shooting out of the ground and just slam down. I actually enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, it's not what I expected.
Not at all.
Nope. Definitely, just not what I expected. It was good, though. I
actually liked it, and I actually agree with 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think that was appropriate.
It was a good rating.
It was pretty
Keeps you
silly.
on your toes.
Yeah, it was pretty silly at times. But I didn't expect anything. Really.
Yeah.
Not truly. So I got a couple fear facts here that I'll get into. It's the first one is the thermal coffee mug / bong was a fully functional mug and bong as portrayed in the film. The prototype, which cost $5,000 to make.
Wow.
It was an actual working bong /
Oh, sick.
coffee cup, which is actually
nice.
kind of cool. So the failed rituals from other countries are references to various classic movies and monsters.
Oh.
The Kyoto ritual is a reference to Ringu, the ring. Buenos Aires ritual is a reference to King Kong.
King
The
Kong.
Stockholm ritual is a reference to John Carpenter's The Thing. And last, the Madrid reference is the Madrid reference appears to reference Dracula. Which is kind of cool to see, like, other little monsters happening.
Yeah.
All over the world or whatever. When Jules kisses the wolf head on the wall, the wolf's tongue is covered in powdered sugar to give it a dusty look and to make the scene tolerable for Anna Hutchison is the actress's name.
Ugh.
Ugh.
I can't think about it.
I think the worst part about that scene was the fact that the tongue was moving.
Yeah. I was like, oh, stop.
Yeah.
Please stop.
But they put sugar on it so she could actually do it. Writer Joss Whedon and director Drew Goddard created over 60 different types of monsters that were created specifically for the Cabin in the Woods.
Wow.
60 monsters.
That's a lot.
That is. And for my final fear fact, the scene where Kurt asked Jules about the textbooks, what are you doing with these? Who gave you these? Who taught you about these? And she answers, I learned it from you, okay? I learned it from watching you. And she ran away crying or whatever, is a takeoff on a 1987 anti-drug PSA where the father confronts his son about drug paraphernalia and gets a similar answer.
Oh my god. That's funny.
It is actually really funny. I didn't at first understand. I was like, I thought he was actually like mad and yelling at her. And I was like, what? It's her books. And then she ran away crying. I was like, oh, okay. Well,
that makes sense.
That was funny then. But I did enjoy this movie. I thought it was. I would actually watch it again.
Yeah.
To be honest,
yeah,
I would watch it again because it was actually very interesting. But yeah, go ahead and watch. It's on Hulu for people that want to watch it.
Yeah, Hulu.
Go ahead and read the next question as I was trying to say.
That's the only place you can get it without paying, I think. Hulu.
Yes.
What was the name of the killer and mortician in the movie Phantasm?
Phantasm, yeah.
Never heard of that.
What was the name of the killer and mortician in the movie Phantasm? So if you know the answer...
Mama.
Your mama. If you know the answer, put it on our Facebook. If not, that's okay too. Because...
I don't even know it.
I didn't... Yeah, we didn't even look.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So,
we know the answer now.
Go ahead and put it on our Facebook. And if you get it right, we'll shout you out on the next episode.
Yeah.
So, sis, what's our next movie that we're going to do?
Final Destination.
Final Destination?
Yep.
Which one? The first one?
I'd say the first one, right?
Okay, we'll do the first one then.
Cool.
Let's do Final Destination for next week. I actually really like the entire series, to be honest with you.
I know it's scarred people for life, so.
Well, that, and it's just like I know it's kind of like lame, in a way.
Yeah, but it's.
But like, I actually really enjoy watching them because of how like, I guess realistic the kills are.
And then like, are you ever in a situation where somebody's like, oh, this reminds me of Final Destination.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot throughout my life. So,
oh, yeah.
Like the, the log truck one.
Yeah.
I hear that all the time.
Yeah, I don't like, I didn't like riding behind or in front of those anyway. Let alone now.
After watching that.
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, I actually really enjoyed the way that, like, the kills are, like, death shows up and causes a series of events, even if they're kind of silly.
Still could happen.
It couldn't
technically
happen. Yeah.
It reminds me of 1,000 Ways to Die.
Yeah.
Do you remember watching
I love that show. Yeah.
I was always scared that I was gonna die from acupuncture.
Yeah.
You remember that one? Like
or the rusty razor blade one. Did you ever see that one?
Yeah.
And her skin like starts melting away over time.
The acupuncture one is because, like, you know, if you watch that show, there's one episode that scarred you.
Yeah.
And mine is the acupuncture because he gets the needles all over his body and he fucking rolls off the table.
How
It
do you do
lands
that?
on the needles and it goes.
The funny thing is like those actually happened. The deaths actually
Nuh-uh.
happened to somebody. Like they're not fake.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay, then that makes me want to watch it less.
Less. But yeah, we'll catch you
Ew.
next week with Final Destination.
Yep.
Another recommended movie. This one, I believe,
Can't
was
wait to watch
recommended
it.
by Rain. So
Can't wait to make my anxiety worse.
yeah. So we'll catch you next week with Final Destination. Thank you for tuning into this episode. Sorry we missed a week, but something important happened.
Sasha, baby.
Cicely's a real aunt now.
I'm an auntie. Listen, I've been an aunt, but now it's my biolog. I'm like an aunt for real, guys. I got my aunt badge. I wear it every day. I got the badge. I got promoted
Promoted.
to my elite employee.
Okay, so that was Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the woods. Cabin in the woods.
Thank you for tuning in to our episode. We'll catch you next week.
Catch you later.